Okay, so in one of my previous videos I talked about doing a new costume, which was Marnie from Pokemon, and then I never followed up about it, and that's because I didn't end up making the costume because I didn't go to the convention. But I am going to EVO this year and I'm very excited about it, and that means I should make more Guilty Gear costume. So here we go, new costume. It's Delilah, the younger sister of Bedman, aka Romeo, from the series Guilty Gear. I am actually starting that costume today because we are nearly halfway through July already, and this is in August. So let me show you the fabrics I have, and then we'll start the journey. This looks horribly blue on camera, but I promise it's not. It's a very dark gray, and it was in the suiting section. I really like because it has some depth to it, and it's kind of weird. Her costume has like, I can't tell if it's black or dark gray, so I went with something like dark gray, that way the blacks kind of pop. And then this is just a linen, which is for the lining and the collar pieces. I got some ribbon. I've got some socks. I've got this very cheapo wig that I'm gonna dye. And I've got a bunch of crap to try to make the little screws that go on her shoulders. And I don't know how that's gonna work, but we're gonna try. So again, Marnie's on hold. Right now I'm doing Delilah, and keep watching if you wanna know how I plan to make it. So today in Delilah Adventures, I am starting on her wig. She's from Amazon. She's cheap and falling apart, and every time I run my fingers through her, I lose hair. But that's okay. The color was very different online than it appeared in person, so I was determined not to dye it, but here we are. In case you didn't know, the Rit Dye website actually has like 5 million fucking colors that show you how to like make all of those colors from like their, I don't know, 10 synthetic dyes that they make. So that's literally what I did, and I picked it, and then I had to buy 3 fucking dyes just for this wig. So the dye ended up costing more than the wig, but it's fine. It's fine. Don't eat the soup. Wow, fucking stunning. Even better. And now we have some ring looking shit, but like, okay, I think that's pretty fucking close. It looks better in person. You just gotta trust the fucking process. I think crimping is hideous. It's my cosplay hot take. So I do the try and true method of just making everything look like shit with a teasing brush and then going from there. You just gotta trust the process. So I teased everything and then brushed it out, and this is where we're at. So I am going to start the process of styling and cutting. So I finished mostly styling the wig. I might make some touch-ups. It looks a little silly on this really fat fucking wig head. And then I made a little arrow out of foam along with the heat transfer vinyl, and this is the same technique that I used on my Bridget shoes. I decided I'm going to attach the arrow to a little hair clip just in case I need to restyle the wig so it's not like glued in there permanently. I think it looks a lot better on my head than on the mannequin, but the wig is officially done. So whenever I start a costume, I always work from the bottommost layer working outwards, and Delilah's going to be no exception. Except I'm starting with her screws that kind of stick out. You can literally see how they're kind of protruding out from beneath her dress here. Normally, if you put something that big on top of fabric, it's going to pull down the fabric with it, and that's not really the look that I'm trying to achieve. So my idea is actually making a harness out of some nylon webbing, and then using these guys and these guys with a hole in the dress, so that way it kind of all slides through and it'll sit flush against me without bringing down the dress. So this is just my super quick mock-up. I'm just gonna use snaps in the front, and so all I really need to do is sew on the straps to this base harness, and then we're on to the next steps. Just as a sewing tip, anytime you cut nylon webbing, it fucks the integrity horribly. So you must use a lighter or some kind of flame to burn and heat seal the edges. Otherwise, all the sewing you do is just eventually going to come apart. Like even just doing this, it just comes apart so easily. I'm a bit squishier than my dress form, so this doesn't quite connect, but I went ahead and added these big ol' eyelets just to help with the integrity of the webbing. And I have the screws behind it, and now I'm ready to start on the dress. On today's episode of Delilah, we're talking about these guys, even though they're mostly dead. I redid them a few times, and each time I just hated the way they were coming out, and something would happen, and then I'd have to delete footage, and it was just a fucking mess. So I'm gonna walk you through how I mostly did it now that I actually have a finished product. This is truly the star of the show, and it's literally just one of those half ornament ones that come apart. I bought a bunch of them on Amazon for like 10 bucks so I could make 5 million mistakes, and that came in handy. I marked where I wanted to cut, took a rotary tool, and just, I used a remnant 4-way stretch PVC and just contact cemented the shit out of it and smoothed it all down so that it was flat. This little inside piece is literally just a foam XT shape that I cut out to mostly fit, and then covered it with a vinyl. This is a sticker vinyl that I got off of Amazon. Once that was in there, I literally just hot glued the shit out of it. This is a much thicker piece of foam that I put on top, and then again, contact cemented that PVC on, and then cut a hole for the little screwy part. The little Deja Vu is just heat transfer vinyl that I cut out very, very tiny on my Cricut. I do think I'm gonna wrap a little piece of foam so it looks like a spiral, so it actually kind of looks more screw-like. But then that's it. And literally this part of the screw just screws right on. And there she is, and there she sits. Boom. So just a quick update. I did end up adding these little like swirly parts so it looks a bit more like a screw, and that's just some really thin foam with, again, the same stretchy fabric over it, and then all contact cemented back together. Hope it helps.